Good evening, everybody. I don't know if Chris is with us. She's a little bit frozen. The internet is playing up again once again. Are you with us, Chris? No, it's all a little bit frozen. So you're stuck with me for a while. A couple of guests for you for tonight. We'll be talking to Bobby Wilkinson, the new manager of Swindon Supermarine, very shortly. And we'll also be talking to Jeremy Lunn, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Prospect Hospice, of course, who had that fabulous Starlight Walk on Saturday night. So should be fantastic hour for you to have a listen to. Are you there, Chris? No, Chris is gone. So let's get Jeremy Lunn on with us, the Chief Executive Officer of Prospect Hospice, and we could talk about the Starlight event and how it went and how much money they've raised, which is fantastic. So if we can get Jeremy on and talk to him. If you'd like to comment to us, then please feel free to do so. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X, and obviously would love to have your comments looking ahead to the Swindon Supermarine game this coming Saturday, the opening pre-season friendly for the town, 3 o'clock kickoff at the Webswood Stadium. As usual, there'll be a very big crowd interested to see a lot of the new signings, not only for Swindon Town, but also for Swindon Supermarine as well. So any moment now, we'll get Jeremy on, and Bobby Wilkinson, who is the new manager of Swindon Supermarine, will be joining us too. Jeremy, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, Vic. Good evening, everyone. It's an honour to be here.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have you. First and foremost, tell us how you're feeling after the events of Saturday. An extraordinary amount of organisation went into it. Fabulous time had by hundreds of people, literally. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling tired but happy, very, very happy. I've got to say, it was wonderful to see members of the fan group joining in. And of course, a lot of people are participating as Swindon Town fans anyway. And there was such a buzz in the air. We had a really, it was so uplifting, so brilliant. There was so much positive energy. And I'm sure there were many town fans there. We had nearly 700 participants. And to date, drum roll, we have raised £107,000 from the Starlight Walk. And there's still money coming in. And that is an incredible amount. That will approximately pay for 570 whole days of our community nursing, providing the best palliative and end-of-life care out in that community. So it's just wonderful. I'm on a high, basically.
I bet you are. So £107,000. Now, yeah, that's an extraordinary figure because I haven't paid my money in yet, which I will do. I know. But, you know, every penny counts, I'm guessing, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. I mean, we go on and on about the government not funding. It's not just this government. Previous governments haven't funded hospice care enough. 18, that's 18% of our money comes from what we call the statutory funding, which is government and NHS. A lot of people think it's more than that. So basically, without that support, without the support of our community, we couldn't in turn support the community. So there's a lovely synergy to that. Corny but true. We couldn't do it without people like yourselves. Every penny makes a difference. And it's raising money and raising an awareness. And of course, Starlight was for many people, it's a really highly emotional celebration of people who are no longer with us physically, but are with them in spirit, and their legacy and their memories live on. And there was something really happy about that. There were tears of joy, tears of sorrow, just the best of people.
Yeah, I was saying to you before we started, I mean, I'm a cynical old hack, you know, and I sometimes sort of think, oh, what's all this about? But I didn't know what to expect. I've got to be honest. And setting out on a 6-mile plus walk at 9 o'clock at night, you know, you think, oh, I'm an old chap as well. Might be a bit of a struggle. But the spirit was fantastic. And in days when really, you know, there is a lot of cynicism about, to have such positivity for that amount of time was fantastic.
Yeah, oh, it absolutely is. It was uplifting, and there were everyone you could hear. I was obviously at the deanery for the start, and you could hear in the distance as cars went past the walkers. You could hear them sounding the horns, then a ripple of cheers going that, and all the way up Kings Hill into Old Town, and of course in the bandstand in the town gardens, a lot of people hung little stars and pictures with messages of love for the people they were walking for, and that was incredibly emotional. There was lots of hugs. People were hanging out their windows, cheering them on. coming, even putting down their pints in the pubs and coming to the front and cheering people on. Everyone was in it together, which is what Prospect's about. And dare I say, it's what Swindon Town is about as well.
Well, we're delighted to have you as our charity of the year, and it was a fantastic start to that. So we're really looking forward to the next 12 months and working with you. I mean, what do you get out of it? What is the thing that keeps you driving along? Because, it's a tough gig, isn't it? I mean, you're dealing with some tough times for people. What is it you get out of it?
I think it is my community. I moved here in 1986. Sainsbury's moved me up here at the time when it was just the one in the Brunel. My career grew and I went into the charity sector. I've worked all over, but I've lived in Old Town the whole time. So for the last 2 years, to be representing a charity that supports the community that my kids were born into and have grown up in, that is my motivation. And just in line with what you said, every day you turn on the news and you think, oh my days, where are we heading as a species? And then I hear people telling the most amazing stories. People literally stop me on the street and say, thanks for what you did for my mom, my husband, my nan, my brother, sister. And I say, it wasn't me. It was my colleagues and I'm representing them. So it's that humanity. It's that, but it's a community that just means so much to me. That's what keeps me motivated when I'm having days when I'm a bit worn out and my spreadsheets keep crashing and all the rest of it. And we're one of the smaller hospices, but we have been featured in the last year in 6 national newspapers. 5 Live came and did a 3-hour broadcast from Prospect because we shout from the rooftops. And I've got many failings and many gaps in my skill set, but shouting from the rooftop about something I really care about, I think I'm quite good at. And my motivation is that, just fighting for a cause and fighting for the best of our community and seeing the very best of people every single day. That is what drives me on.
Well, some nice comments from Brad. Thank you very much indeed, Brad. And also to Sean, thank you very much indeed for your good wishes. I mean, it was an absolute pleasure. It was great to see you at the start, Brad, as well. So thank you. Yeah, it is tough. And, the thing is, sometimes Swindon is portrayed as this sort of downtrodden town. Sometimes it's looked upon as a bit of a jokey old town, but we did see the best of Swindon on Saturday night.
We did, yeah, and I mean, I loved The Office when it was on, the Ricky Gervais thing, but the fact that Swindon was the reference point for a certain kind of town. And in my previous role, some of you may have heard me say this before, I worked from Edinburgh down to Truro, and people say, where are you from? I say, from Swindon, and they say, oh yeah, that's the place with the, and I'd finish the sentence, yeah, the roundabout, there's nothing else but a wacky roundabout. But I love it, and for me, that's something that I really like to push back on. That, and funny enough, when I had the honour of introducing Prospect as the charity of the year at the Supporters Club Awards dinner, what really moved me was at the end when the boss Ollie came on and he was talking about not so much specifically about the football, but the people, how they're there for each other. And he said something, I'm paraphrasing. He said obviously he's worked all over the place. He's never worked anywhere where people look out for each other to the degree that they do in Swindon. And he's not wrong. He's right about everything, in fact, but,
well, Paolo Di Canio, of course, was very much impressed with Swindon because he called it a working class town, which is what appealed to him greatly. Hi, Emma. Thank you very much, Dee, for your message. I did the Starlight Walk Saturday night. Saw you both. Hope you got on all well with it, Emma. I mean, what I would say as well, having done many 10Ks, half marathons, etc., blah, 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 the one group of people I always am very grateful for are the marshals who do a fantastic job, and they stand around for hours and hours and hours, and don't get any recompense for it, but they do it because they're doing it for the charity, which is always impressive. So thank you to them and all the volunteers, because you have to organise that, but they are fabulous, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, brilliant. We've got around about 700 volunteers. A lot of people think volunteers are just in the shops. I'm not belittling that. Our shops are our biggest source of income. We couldn't open the doors without them. We have volunteers who drive the patients out to and fro from their homes. We have volunteers who work in the heart of the Hospice Cafe, which I would recommend any of the people who are here today to pop in for a breakfast one day. We've got people like Phil King and Paul Bowden have popped in for breakfast. They're all running front of house there. The reception where people come in, We've got so many volunteers, and an event like Starlight, cliche but true, we could not have done it without them. So always grateful for people giving their time. So there are some people who would love to give a load of money to Prospect but don't have a load of money for, they're facing tough times, and they give a couple of hours here. And just as every penny makes a difference, every hour makes a difference.
Yeah, it's interesting. You were going back to what you said about Swindon. Sean says, I was once told, oh, Don Rogers, when I said where I was from. And that's absolutely true, because living in Devon, every time you mention Swindon, oh, Don Rogers, we have done other things, but yeah, I take the point, there is only one Don Rogers. Although, bizarrely, when Crossroads was on, there was a postman in Crossroads called Don Rogers. And I always think that's where they got the name from. Obviously. You said 107,000, which is extraordinary. What is your target? Do you have a target?
Well, we were hoping for 100, and that was a sort of quiet stretch target. So we smashed that, and there is still money coming in, and there's various people who are, they just got to round up the bits and pieces because everyone's busy, everyone put in a shift. So I'm sure it will climb beyond that. And actually, if I could just use this opportunity, the other thing, again, we're well supported by corporates in this community. We've got people like Nationwide and so on who are very generous with their time. Imagine Cruising, which a lot of people don't know, they're based in Swindon. They basically paid a lot of the setup costs. Robin, who runs it with a lot of his staff, they did the walk. And you probably know they sponsor the town end or the Alan McLaughlin stand. So they look out for us as a community. BMW gave us the lorry stage that I'm sorry you had to watch me doing aerobic dancing on. But again, because the person we were going to hire the stage from let us down at the last minute. They stepped in, gave us that. Domino Pizza, I mean, that was your motivation on the night, wasn't it?
They tell you what, never has pizza tasted so good, and it disappeared very quickly, I can assure you. It was fabulous. Yeah. So actually, that sort of backing is essential, isn't it, when you're putting on an event like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we couldn't. And they don't do it to make themselves look good. I think all of these companies, all of the people who are walking, all of the volunteers, they do it because they care. And I can't emphasize that enough. That is what motivates me. That is where you see the best of people in this world.
Well, more from Emma. And she says, marshals were amazing on Saturday night. My dad was a big Swindon Town fan, and he was looked after by Prospect Hospice before he passed away. And that was, very much what it was about, wasn't it? Personal connection between those doing it and what the work you do, and recognizing that work.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what's so powerful, because I would never criticize the people who work in Great Western Hospital and so on, but they're under so much pressure. The hospital systems and the GP surgeries, the systems they work within are quite fragmented. There's beautiful people working in there, but once someone comes into Prospect and other hospices, they're just there. We're there for them all the time. We know who they are, whether a quiet person who likes reading a book, whether they're quite a loud person who wants all their friends and family in. They might be scared, they might be frightened, they might be angry. Of course, they'll go through all of that stuff. But my colleagues are there for them in the most personal way possible. They remember their name. They don't have to look at a clipboard. And that is so special. And people do recognize that. I would say we celebrate each individual as a person. It's a weird thing to say, but it's like checking into the best hotel on the planet, where it's so personal. And I don't do it, my colleagues do it. The way they treat people is just amazing. And 90% of it is out in the homes. It isn't just in the building in Wroughton. 90% of our care is out in the community, because a lot of people want to spend as long as possible in the comfort of their own homes. We take pressure off the families. So your husband, wife, mom, dad, kids, their roles can be defined as they become a carer when someone gets really poorly at the end of their life. But when my colleagues step in, they take that pressure off them and they become the mom, the dad, the brother, sister, and so on again. And the first time I walked into our ward on my first day, a pretty confident person generally, I got to the door of the inpatient unit and I suddenly felt really scared. I thought, what, do I look down? Do I kind of, does my body language sort of stiffen up? Yeah. Do I look at the ground and lower my tone of voice? And I opened the door and I heard laughter, and that put me at ease. The first time I met someone who was dying, I was so nervous, and I started talking to, he was a gentleman about my age, and he was a passionate photographer of wildlife up on the Ridgeway. And at my age, I love a walk on the Ridgeway, and I was really nervous. We started chatting, and as we walked away afterwards, we've been talking about the favourite spots on the Ridgeway, and I suddenly struck, to me, he wasn't a person who was dying. He was a guy called Darren, and he gave us all his photographs using our calendar and everything. And that conversation, it was no different to a conversation I'd have with him in a cafe or in a pub if we bumped into each other. It was just and that is because the way Prospect looks after people, they allow them to be themselves for as long as possible. They're not defined by an illness. They're who they are. And that is so powerful. And that is why there's a real Starlight was such an emotional celebration of so many wonderful people.
So it's an annual event, isn't it? I mean, to say it's the first time I've ever done it, and it was well worth the drive to get there and go back again. I mean, Town Gardens were spectacular. I mean, I saw you in Town Gardens, and I thought, how did you get here? Because that was pretty quick. Where did the ideas come from first and foremost? I mean, because the trees were lit up, there were lights everywhere. It was fantastic.
I think it's just a synergy again with, I don't know, it was it was already up and running when I joined. We used to start from the county ground actually, but I think the deanery was slightly safer in terms of traffic and getting across the aforementioned crazy roundabout and all that. But I think because the Town Gardens do have events, I think South Swindon Parish Council, you can criticise councils all you like, but they do wonderful stuff with some of the green spaces, which again, very underrated in Swindon in my view, like things like the lawns in Queen's Park and so on. So I think they had all the lights, and I think it's just evolved by us talking to each other, and again celebrating the best of our community. So they did a lot of the design. We just set up the framework in the bandstand where people bring along their celebrations of the people they're walking for, and we've now got that set up in the cafe and the hospice I was looking at today. And if people do want to pop in, have a cuppa and look at all those stories, it's very powerful in a very beautiful, uplifting way. Yeah,
fabulous. Well, congratulations. It was wonderful. And I can only reiterate what I said earlier. I will do it again next year because it was a fantastic event, and it deserves support. 700 people. That's just bonkers, isn't it? I mean, that is an incredible thing.
Yeah. Can I just give a quick plug, Vic, for our next event is called Run the Rainbow. It's on the 16th of August at Lydiard Park, 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And it's a bit more chaotic in some ways. It's families. It's a 5K run, amble, shuffle, whatever you want to do. And there are paint stations where you go through and you get pelted with different colours, powder paint. So it's not for everyone, but again, it makes you laugh with happiness when you see people at the end who are just all got their arms around each other, and they're absolutely about 57 different colours of paint. So have a look on our website if you did want to take part in that one. It's all good though.
Excellent. Kevin says, my mum died in the Prospect. I did a sponsored cycle ride to say thank you for being there for her. And the thing I've always thought about Prospect, there's a lot of love for it. It's not and everybody in Swindon knows what the Prospect is, or they don't necessarily know all the work that you do clearly, but they have a personal connection with it, and they know what it is, and that must be a great selling point.
It is, and our best ambassadors, if you like, are the people who've seen the care that my colleagues deliver firsthand, because they'll tell the neighbours, tell the family, tell the friends, and they can feel the love. We could put it in leaflets and all that till the cows come home, but the best people are, just the messages of recognition that have come in now, and then people in turn thank us in a way that they can, and round it goes. We couldn't do it without that support. But yeah, absolutely spot on.
Brilliant. I know you're a Town fan. You do go to watch the Town.
Yeah.
You've already said how excited you are with Mr. Holloway, and I mean, what are your thoughts ahead of the season? Because there's a lot of expectation that necessarily wasn't there this time last year. But what about it? I mean, there's a lot of positivity regarding the football team as well, isn't there?
Oh yeah, the buzz is there, and ironically, synergy is a word I'm using a lot at the moment. I feel because at this time last year, Prospect were in serious. 1 in 5 hospices had to cut services last year. We didn't because of the support of the community. We were considering nothing was off the table this time last year, and it felt like we were in that stage about the time when mathematically the town could have gone out the league. And as Ollie came on board and that energy started to pick up and everything, it was the same with Prospect. So we finished the year. I mean, it sounds scary. We should have finished on £1 million deficit. We finished on 300,000. So it's still a big deficit, but thanks to the community and so on, we closed that gap by 700,000. So it feels like the energy. And when we got told that we were going to be the charity for next year, it feels like the clouds parting again, because all of a sudden the pressure is very different on Swindon. It is to live up to expectations. And, I remember, I think it was you talking to Harry Smith at the end of the season. He said, what's the one thing, is there anything disappointed you about last season? He said, I wish it was still going on now and playing games. And I think if they come out and hit the ground running and for us to be partnered when we're looking up, onwards, upwards and forwards, it feels really good. When you follow, anyone, if you follow a club outside of the very top tier, you're always prepared for, wasn't expecting that in a bad way. But it feels like it was meant to be. We're looking onwards and upwards after really tough times. The town are looking onwards and upwards. We've kept nearly all of the wonderful players. We've signed some really potentially interesting ones. 127 goals in 3 seasons or whatever it is. It feels like. I don't think we're clutching at straws. It really feels like we could be playoff contenders. So, I'll be there, and anything that we can do to represent Prospect as that energy builds and grows would be wonderful.
Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot throughout the course of the season. We might even ask you to be part of our panel, if that would be okay with you throughout the season.
For 1 minute, I thought you were going to say part of the starting 11. I was saying, let's be realistic. But no, of course, no. Be absolutely. Well, I'd be honoured to be part of that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that'd be great, and we'll get you on, and we have a little rotor, and we'll fit you in and let you know. Super Marine on Saturday. Will you be going? I've got a family wedding, so I cannot go. Not that I've said to many people how that makes me feel, but will you be at Super? Will you be at Super Marine?
I will. Yes. Yeah. We've got, when I live in Old Town, we've got our annual street party the next day. So they moved it back from the Saturday to the Sunday. So it is Saturday, isn't it? The game.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will be there. Yeah.
Unless they move it to Sunday, and I'd be eternally grateful if they did, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward again a local connection. Obviously we play them pretty much every pre-season, don't we? So it'll be great to see our local heroes and the new boys getting a run around. Yeah,
I've just had a message from Liam Scanlon, of course. Now he's a great fan of XTC and the Swindon Town. And he said, what a great month for Prospect. Swindon Town and XTC, the fan festival at the Mecca this month. And I know they too have raised a lot of money for you. The XTC weekend festival, which was last weekend or the weekend before, I can't remember. XTC, of course, Swindon's own. Another great event, which is in your honour.
Yeah, and it was incredible because obviously a lot of most of the people there aren't from Swindon, but they came from all over the world. And again, when I got there, people, Liam and I have been chatting quite a lot, and they were saying that people coming from America and Japan were saying, what a great town, and people look out for each other. And they're XTC obsessives. We were slightly a bit more in the background, dare I say, but it's raised thousands. And for me to get seeing people from kind of Arkansas and Japan putting money into our buckets. So obviously we raised a lot of money from the XTC auctions and memorabilia, and that's what they're there for. But there were people just giving us donations. And I had the opportunity, Dave Gregory from the band chose us as his charity. He was the member of the band who was there this year. I had the, again, absolute privilege of interviewing him on stage. And when I talked about what Prospect did in the lightest way, the people were kind of stamping their feet and clapping and cheering, and they were from America. And then I went out into Old Town just for a little amble, not a pub crawl, I promise, afterwards. And I still had my XTC English Settlement T-shirt on. And 6 different people stopped me. And in the end, there were a group of half a dozen people. I was in the doorway just next to Los Gatos for about 20 minutes, and they were asking me, you know, what does hospices do, and all this sort of thing. And they loved it when I told them about it. And for me, that was really uplifting as well, because again, XTC got a huge cult following around the world. People from all over the world weren't judging Swindon on what they read on Facebook. They were seeing it at its best. And they suddenly were excited about Prospect Hospice as well. So Liam and the crew did an amazing job with that as well. And as it went on, they kept giving us more memorabilia. Someone gave us a single at the end of the second day, and the producer was there, so we got him to sign it, stuck it on eBay, and it was just so much kindness, really. It's wonderful. So it all came together in a great couple of weekends, yeah.
You could say your senses were working overtime.
Yes, indeed. Hey.
Sorry, been waiting to get that in for ages. But, no, very good. And yeah, Liam and his committee did a fantastic job by all accounts. And yeah, so wonderful stuff. So you mentioned Swindon possibly pushing for the playoffs. Are you expecting more than that, or would you be happy with that? Or yeah.
Obviously, having been there under the Ardulis and Hoddle years, when obviously Ardulis, it didn't end up working out quite the way we wanted to. Yeah, I mean, when the playoffs were introduced as a concept, I thought that's a bit weird, you know, to get but of course it's everything. It's like the ultimate cup final, isn't it? So I think I'd love. I mean, the notion of us getting to Wembley again would be brilliant, or you know, to get there. But of course, if you got to the final, then you lost. There's a sense of crushing defeat there. But when we were genuinely, without being pessimistic, it did look like we might go out of the league. As I say, to flip it from that, where it feels credible that could finish in the playoff position, is something special. So you know, like I say, when you followed a local club for a long time, you can't be relentlessly optimistic, but you know. It's I think when I've been in recent years and I've had that sense we're winning 1-0, and I might be completely alone with this, and you think, I reckon we're going to lose 2-1 in the last in the 89th and the 93rd minute, and lo and behold it happens, and I think, well, have I made that happen with the opposite of wishful thinking? But this season was the complete opposite. We'd be losing 1-0 in the 89th minute, and I think we're going to win this, and lo and behold we did and do. It happened so many times. So
yeah,
that going.
It's all our personal responsibility. If you put the wrong socks on, wear the wrong shirt, whatever, it's your fault, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that you have anything to do with it, but that's the way we think. Caroline's been in touch from the club, and she says, "Run the rainbow, one for us all. Love to get pelted by paint." So we'll see with a bit of luck. That's the 16th. Is that a Saturday? That's a Saturday, though, isn't it? Saturday
the 16th at Lydiard Park. Yeah, it starts at 10 o'clock. It's pretty family friendly and so on. So yeah, it's good fun.
I'm just trying to think where we are on the 16th. Hang on, 16th.
You can have a look on our website.
We're away at Oldham that day.
Oh right, okay.
It's a bit of a shame. Yeah.
And then the other one, again, things falling into place. They reintroduced the Swindon Half after many years on the 28th of September, and we're their charity. So
fantastic.
Again, because I vaguely remember, I don't know if I dreamt this. I remember when Paolo did the send off, and he ended up running it, didn't he? Or something.
You haven't dreamt it. It's absolutely right. He suddenly decided, well, I'm going to do this then, and off he went. Yeah,
and he wasn't even in running gear, was he? I don't think.
I don't think so. He did a pretty decent time as well, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I have an event in Devon to sort out that day, which really, again, is a bit of a clash. Otherwise, I would be trying my best to do that. Jeremy, thank you very much indeed. We're trying to get hold of Bobby Wilkinson, who's the manager of Swindon Supermarine, to talk about the friendly on Saturday. We've got a competition to run as well, but I just wanted to say a personal thank you to you and to your staff and to your volunteers, because you do a fabulous job. And, you know, as we said, it's a cynical old world, but it's nice to talk about things that aren't cynical and are just purely done because they want to do it. And that makes a big difference.
Wonderful. Well, I'd like to thank you all for giving us a platform, and the people who've dropped those lovely messages about the care that my colleagues delivered and how they in turn have supported. That's how we do what we do. We support the community supports us, and round it goes, and onwards and upwards we go.
Well, we put lots of pictures up on our Facebook page and our X page, and I'm sure there's plenty on your website as well, aren't there?
There'll be on the socials, and that we've got so many. We'll be pulling together more and more in the coming days. So yeah.
Jeremy, thank you so much, and we'll let you get off and enjoy yourself for the rest of the evening. And we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Vic. Thanks, Chris, and thanks everyone. Cheerio.
All the best. Bye-bye. Thanks, Jeremy. You can log off now and disappear now and enjoy the rest of the evening. So, Chris, welcome back. I think you're in the dark somewhere up there in the hills of Womborough, I think.
I'm on my phone. So I do apologise if it's dark, but I've thrown my laptop out the window. So there you go.
Well, it's working much better, so stay on your phone. Good. We haven't heard from Bobby Wilkinson. He's out with his son training.
No. Yeah, and he was going to phone in, but I haven't heard anything from him. So I don't know if he's got problems or if something's happened. So
yeah. Okay.
So, but if you want to launch the competition, and
yes. I don't know if on your phone you can do the magic stuff with the banner.
Yes, I can. I can do all sorts.
Oh, can you? Okay, brilliant. All right. Well, look, we've decided that Supermarine have kindly said 3 pairs of tickets are up for grabs for Saturday's friendly against the Town. And there you are at the bottom of the screen. So what we'd like you to do is email in, please, by midday tomorrow so that we can then select at random using a random number generator the 3 winners. So it's 3 pairs of tickets. So there you are at the bottom of the screen. Which 2 clubs merged in 1992 to become Swindon Supermarine? Answers, please, to admin@stfc-osc.com by midday tomorrow. That's the 1st of July, unbelievably. And then after that, we'll pick out the winners by random number generator. So if you want to go to the friendly on Saturday, there are 3 pairs of tickets up for grabs. And I think that hopefully be a very popular competition.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day. I know we play them every season, but it's a good pre-season opener. So yeah, first chance to see the new boys. So yes.
And in relation to the rainbow event, which Caroline messaged in about and Jeremy mentioned, no yellow paint, says Sean. Absolutely not. Do a bit of dodging. Hi, Mark. Thank you very much. Feeling optimistic and positive for a change, all down to Holloway. Next stop, League One. Absolutely. Whether we want to get there as soon as possible. And it's been lovely. Thank you very much for your messages regarding Prospect and what they've done for your relatives, which is what it's all about, Chris, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Yeah, I was listening to what Jeremy was saying, and we had a fabulous time. Not Kings Hill. I don't want to ever see that hill again in my life. One of the longest hills I can think of, but glad it was at the start of the walk and not the end. But yeah, but as you said yourself, Vic, it was just fun. We were sort of just loitering along, weren't we, with everybody, chatting, and people were coming out with chocolates and things like that from the houses. They're all in their windows waving and clapping, the cars going by beeping and everybody waving and everything. It was fantastic. And you looked back and there was this stream of, I don't say they're not orange T-shirts, they're salmon T-shirts just going down with all the flashing lights and everything. It was a fabulous experience. And I think if anybody gets a chance to do it sort of next year, please do so, because it's fabulous.
I've just sent Bobby a message and he said, yes, but can you just call me? I don't know if we can do that, can we?
No, we can't. No, it can't, because we can't get it on here then. Just ask him to press the link.
Just press the link. This is live and we have all these problems. So this is done whilst we're doing this. Can you just press the link? There we are. I've sent him that. Anyway, we'll see what happens in the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
In terms of Saturday, most of the committee from the supporters club will be there, of course. We are sponsoring the match, hence the kindness of Supermarine to give us those pairs of tickets. And again, it's at the bottom. So if you would like to enter it, there we are. Which two clubs merged in 1992 from Swindon Supermarine? Answers to admin@stfc-osc.com by midday Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2025. That's tomorrow, unbelievably enough, the 1st of July. If you want to send in some memories as well of Swindon Town games in the past, that would be fantastic. Chris disappeared for a moment. Your news for us?
No, I actually went to see if he'd come onto WhatsApp, but he hasn't. But hang on 2 seconds. I think he might be in.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, marvellous stuff. Which two clubs merged in 1992 to become Swindon Supermarine? Answers to admin@stfcosc.com by midday Tuesday, the 1st of July. So if you want to say how you're feeling ahead of the brand new season, that would be fantastic. We've got another 20 minutes or so to get those in. So if you want to send us what you think will be the way this season goes, always difficult, of course, and at this time of the year, a lot of optimism sometimes happens, but that optimism quickly dissipates. But we're hoping this time, Chris, that it won't.
I don't think it will. I think looking at the signings and who's still with us from last season, and it's interesting to see what Jake Tabor, is that how you pronounce it, will do this season. It might be a Charlie Austin, or as you said the other day, a Charlie Griffin. Yeah. But you don't know, do you? So it's going to be lovely to look at that progress and see how things turn out for him. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, we obviously do want him to do well. Scored lots of goals in non-league, big jump up, but I'm sure he recognises that. And it would be fantastic if he gets off to a flying start. You may see him for the first time on Saturday at Supermarine, of course. Any other things you want to say about the forthcoming season? Supermarine on Saturday. The following Saturday, it's Melksham away, followed by Chippenham on the 19th. And then on the 26th, it's away at Eastleigh. That's away pre-season. Bobby says he's ready, Chris. So if you want to do the magic.
I don't know where he is. He's not here.
Oh. We're just trying to sort that out. We need a better start, please. Yeah, certainly better than last season, which was pretty awful. Of course, when we lost at home to Walsall, got beaten 4-0 on the home game. Drew at Chesterfield on the Friday night, first match, looked pretty good. Great goal from Will Wright, but it all went pear-shaped in that first home match against Walsall. We kick off, of course, this season at Walsall on the 2nd of August with a 3:00 kickoff. So a better start, says Kevin. We would definitely want that and get off to a really good start and hopefully push up the league pretty much straight away. There's a little spinning circle. Any news, Chris, for me?
No, I can't find him. He doesn't seem to be here.
Right, well, August the 2nd, we're away at Walsall. The 9th of August, we're home to Cambridge. That's our first home match of the brand new season. The 16th, we're away at Oldham. And then on Tuesday, the 19th, we're at home to Barnet. Shrewsbury at home on the 23rd, and then away at Crewe on the 30th. So those are the way the games shape up. And then in September, we're away to Barrow on the 6th, the 13th at home to Harrogate, the 20th away to Salford, and on the 27th, we're at home to Bromley. That's the first 2 months of the season. We've got a League Cup match, of course, at Cardiff City. That will be, I think, on the 11th or 12th, something like that, of August, when we'll be away to Cardiff. So, Sean says he seems confident. He'll always find the net. That's Jake Tabor. I think it will maybe be the brutality of League Two he may have to adapt to. So that's a fair point. Of course, it's stepping up from non-league. In the EFL Trophy, we'll be playing MK Dons, Reading and West Ham under-21s, and Cardiff City in the week commencing the 11th. That's Cardiff City away in the EFL Cup. So those dates for the MK Dons, Reading and West Ham match yet to be decided, I think, who will be at home to as well. So the competition, email in which two clubs merged in 1992 to become Swindon Supermarine. Answers to admin@stfc-osc.com by midday Tuesday on the 1st of July 2025. Still waiting to see if we can get hold of Bobby Wilkinson, because it would be really nice to speak to the new Supermarine manager. Joined in May, having previously had managerial experience. He's on a 2-year contract. Managerial experience at Bracknell, Hemel Hempstead, Weymouth, Hungerford and Wealdstone. And he took Wealdstone to the FA Trophy semi-final. Also, of course, gained several promotions. Any news for me, Chris?
No, I can't. I don't know where he is. I've just been onto the laptop to try and log him in, and he's not in the waiting room, so I don't know where he's waiting, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So
Well,
I do apologise, but I can't find him. So
yeah. Have you got anything to say in terms of things coming up? I'll just send him another message.
Okay, you send him the message, and yes. So you might have well have seen on the website, the club website today, that the stitching of the pitch. We did have an open event scheduled for Thursday. It's not going to happen because the previous contract for our contractors is running a few days over. So they're postponing it for the moment, and stitching should, I believe, start next week or early the week after. So if you have booked up for that, or if you would like to book up for the next one, look out on the club website or on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and we'll put the new date out there. I've had a demonstration of what it's going to be, how they're going to do it, and it's amazing. It's so it's well worth coming to see if you're interested in how they stitch a pitch, and not with knitting needles and needle and cotton or a crochet hook. So yeah,
Okay.
that'd be good. So what's he saying, Vic?
He's saying I'll receive no link though. So
I sent him the link yesterday.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, I'll try and do it on WhatsApp. You talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll do my very best.
Okay. And as Andy's saying, Vic, you're good at the ad-libbing. So yes, we've got the stitching of the pitch event. So keep a lookout for that as well. But yeah, and also we're going back to the prospect. If you've got any ideas for any fundraising events that we can do, we would very much like to get the community involved in anything we do. So please let us know, and we'll try. We've come up with a few things with Caroline, the charity coordinator at the club. But really, because we need people to join and everything like that, it'd be lovely if you told us what you would like, and so we can see if we can arrange. So that's fabulous. So yes, we'll do that.
Yeah, indeed. And don't forget, throughout the course of the season, we'll have our programme sales in the Legends Lounge before games, and all the money that we raise from those programme sales goes directly to the charity of the year. So come along into the Legends Lounge before matches and see if you can add to your collection, and all that money will go to our to the Prospect charity, our charity of the year for 2025. Link has been sent. We'll see.
See if we can get him, but yeah, bless. But we will get there. We
are doing our best. We are doing our best. Supermarines pre-season friendlies. They have Swindon Town on Saturday, of course, and they've got Barton, Highworth, Cirencester, Fairford, North Lee, Swindon under-18s, and Ascot United. That's who they're playing. So Swindon, Barton, Highworth, Cirencester, Fairford, North Lee, Swindon under-18s, and Ascot United. And there he is, Bobby. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Marvellous. Absolutely
Hiya.
delighted to see you. Thank you very much. We got you. That's fantastic.
Sorry for the confusion. I
No,
will leave
no
you for a
problems at all.
moment.
No problems at all.
I know you're in the middle of your son's football training. So
No, I'm back home now. Now. I was worried when you was calling me I was going to be on the way home, so I'm back home now.
Well, we're delighted you're with us. Welcome to Swindon Supermarine. It's our chance to say that on behalf of the Swindon Town Supporters Club. How are you finding it?
Well, thanks for allowing me to come on your brilliant show. Yeah, I'm finding it really, really positive, really enjoying my time at this football club, and yeah, it's good to be back in football and enjoying my football again.
Yeah, I just ran through your previous clubs: Bracknell, Hemel Hempstead, Weymouth, Hungerford, Wealdstone. A lot of managerial experience. How did it all start, the managerial ladder for you?
I started when I was about 28. I finished my career playing football because of injuries, and it was something I always wanted to do, is go into management. And yeah, I've never looked back really. I've gone and got all my badges, and I've enjoyed it. Been around a lot of pro clubs as well, working with some very good people. So yeah, my experience is okay, but it's all about who's working with me. I've got some great management team and great people around me over the years, and yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
I've got a message here from Jez Webb, who I believe you might know.
Yep, I hope
he's
I
even
do.
worse. He's even worse than me on tech. I bet he's got a crowd of his kids surrounding his laptop. Just to let you know that Jez was on this a few weeks ago, and all we got for a while was a spinning white circle. So I think might be level going into extra time with him. So there you go. So what brought you to Supermarine? I mean, obviously Jez, as you know, he's great character, done an extraordinary job there. What brought you to Supermarine?
When I went to sit down with Jez and what he's done with this football club and the facilities are a League One, League Two, even National League. When you show people what he's done, it's just unbelievable. And we sat down and I felt his passion. And I'll be brutally honest, I wanted to take him where he needs to go, because I think it's so important for himself. Like, I know it's his final year, but trust me, time he finishes this year, if we enjoy it like I hope we do, he won't want to leave. That's my ambition.
Oh, well, there you are, Jez. Let's see if you can be persuaded. Obviously, relegation last season. I guess if I said to you, what's your target? What is your target? I mean, are you going to say promotion? What have you got in mind?
Even with all my 4 promotions, I've never said the word target. I don't set myself a target. We go one game at a time. I'm trying to bring a lot of positiveness back to this football club. I'm trying to bring a lot of togetherness that I like to enjoy doing as well. When you set yourself a target, especially in non-league football now, you're easily shot down. So hopefully my experience that comes now, where I don't have to set targets. Let's just go one game at a time, and let's try and enjoy the journey and move Swindon back up to where it should be and where it belongs.
In terms of your signings, how pleased are you with those so far? And I was going to ask you a question with it. We hear so much about agents. What experience of agents are there in non-league football, if any?
Yeah, agents is a big thing in non-league football now, especially higher up. I had to deal with 20, 30, 40 agents a week at Weymouth and Hemel and Wealdstone. You don't get it as much a couple of leagues lower, but agents for me, they do their own work, don't they? They do their own job. So I don't deal with a lot of them if I can help it, but I don't want to stop what they're doing. It's all about me recruiting, finding players, and there's some very good agents out there as well who's really helped me out over the years. So I wish them all the best, agents, but yeah, some will agree and some will disagree with me.
So what about your signings and the squad you've got in place? I mean, clearly there's a long way to go before your season starts. Are you happy with what you got so far?
Yeah, I had to build from the bottom here. We decided as a group when we sat down, we're going to rebuild from the bottom, because if you'd kept 90% of them teams and players, and you were going through a hard spell again, you could only look at yourself. So what I decided literally overnight with my management team and that I'm going to rebuild from the very bottom back upwards. So that's why I've said to Jez and everyone at the football club, let's not expect everything overnight. It's a building process right now, but I'm overjoyed with the signings. 1 or 2 that I still want to bring in, but I'm 95% there actually, with good players, hard-working talent that look forward to playing for the club.
As with all football clubs at non-league level, volunteers do an extraordinary job, don't they? And put their heart and soul in it. And you must have found that over the years. That that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, volunteers are what make non-league football. I think anyone would tell you at the football club I'm now, I've already been messaging a lot of them and making phone calls, because we wouldn't be as well organised as we are and enjoying it as much without these volunteers. So I am a manager who really likes to look after people as well. And a phone call and an arm around the shoulder just doesn't hurt. Like, you know, I think that's so important to non-league football, because without volunteers, non-league football doesn't exist. So I think that's very, very important. Yes, it always ends up being about 3 points at the end of the week. But if we can do it together and enjoy it, and we support the volunteers and they support us, you give yourself a chance.
How much did you know about Supermarine before you got there? Do you know a lot about them?
Yeah, I told Jez about 10 years ago I'm looking forward to managing your football club one day. But every time Jez has gone a different direction, I've been on contract with another football club. I've always wanted to work with Jez because of the facilities, and I'm at my best when I'm just with a cool, calm chairman. I've worked with some fantastic chairmans over the years, but then I've worked with one or two that, you know, if you lose 2 or 3 like I did at Hemel, you know, you're under pressure straight away. And we're not the Premiership. We give our heart and soul into our football clubs. We sacrifice our families. And, you know, I would reach out there to any chairmans, back your managers when you're going through a bad time. You know, it's not rocket science, or, you know, it's not out there. Like, I was top of the league at Hemel, and then we got serious injuries and we're going down would spiral. And, you know, I could sense the chairman was getting, you know, a little bit itchy feet. Instead of supporting us, he decided to go down a different direction. And one thing about Jez is well known to backing his managers. So when we go through a difficult period this year, and we will, I know I've got the backing from a very loyal chairman and board of directors who are good people.
Yeah, I think sometimes people forget in non-league football. I mean, how many hours do you spend? Can I ask you, is it your full-time job? Do you have to do it? Yeah. But,
I've been full time now for over 12 years, and what's really nice, I think my chairman and board are actually seeing how much I work. I'm out 24 hours a day studying the game, working hard. Full time. When I sign contracts now, I never sign for football related. Now I sign for stress, because you live and breathe it. You know, and that's why I reach out to certain chairmans. You know, we sacrifice everything. So when we're up against it, remember what we have sacrificed. You know, I say goodbye to my family for 10 months of the year, and people will go, really? Non-league football? I think a lot of people think we just turn up on a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Saturday. No, we build and we prepare right for that game every day of the week. And that's credit to the players that jump on board as well.
I was going to say, as you'll probably be aware, it's pretty hot at the minute. I mean, has that made any difference to your pre-season preparation? Do you have to be careful?
No, let's work harder. Get more water down here, and let's work hard. We do everything with a ball. My lads have been first class. We had them in over the weekend as well, because we play Swindon first team on Saturday. So we've only been back together on Thursday. So I wanted to get us in for the extra couple of sessions over the weekend, and then we're back in tomorrow and Thursday, ready for which will be a fantastic challenge, but a brilliant learning for ourselves to play against Swindon, and see how we get on this weekend.
I was going to say, Ian Holloway in the opposite dugout. How about that?
Yes, when I was at Reading Football Club, I came against him a couple of times when I was in the opposite dugout under a few managers. So I think his character and for the way he's conducted himself in football is absolutely first class. And he's one of the old school managers that I still believe is absolutely fantastic. And what he's gone in and done there, and the way he's brought that club back together, I was surprised he was out of football so long. So I'll be brutally honest with you, when I meet him this week, hopefully he'll sit down, have a glass of wine or a beer with us after, and I can chew his ear off a little bit and get a little bit of advice, because I think it's important. But I just look forward to challenge myself against him on Saturday.
Just bear with us a minute, because I've got this is from Cynthia Southworth Clark, who's this is regarding Swindon Town. She said, "Go Swindon Town, New England, USA here. My Cricklade family, all season ticket holders. Ron Oates, RIP. They're going to hit the net all this year for you." American phrase. My heart is in Cricklade. Go Swindon. Cynthia, lovely to have your company from that beautiful part of the world. Fantastic. Thank you. And this is from Sean. Was there pretty much a clear out at Supermarine did notice there were a lot of players being signed. I mean, when you came in, as you said, you had to work from the bottom up. I mean, basically, did you have no players? How many players did you have? How did it work?
We met one or two, but we released 90% of them because, listen, football never lies. They got relegated. So if you go through a bad spell with the same players next year, you would always look at yourself, and the chairman would look at you going, why didn't you rebuild? So we took a very strategic, gamble with building from the bottom with new players. So it's going to take me a while to gel them. That's why this is quite tough this Saturday to play Swindon first team in your first game, because we're quite a young, hungry team. But yes, we wanted to build from the bottom and bring in some fresh blood, to be fair, because when I looked through the players, some of them have been there a few years, but they hadn't got over the line, if that makes sense. And I'm not here not to be mid-table or below. I want to challenge for things. So I wanted to start from the bottom, like I have over the years with other football clubs, and ended up succeeding quite well.
Yeah, you mentioned Swindon's first team on Saturday. Jake Tabor, of course, has just signed for the Town, which many people look at as a very exciting prospect. In fact, Mick says, keep an open mind, give the lad a chance, and don't be judgmental early doors. You never know, he could be a real find. I mean, your vast experience in non-league football, there must be there must be many players who, for some reason or another, have never made it to league level. But that's the ultimate, I guess, to climb the ladder and then get into the professional game like that.
Yeah, listen, I see that signing yesterday, and what a shrewd signing that is. And me personally, that's the manager again, prepared to take that gamble. I've signed many players over the years and end up selling them to pro clubs and moving them on. And sometimes, this is what I'm saying, you've got to take a gamble. There are talented players out there. Why not take a gamble? Why not try and save the club some money? And I wish this lad all the best. I hope he doesn't score against us Saturday, because I can imagine he'd be part of it. But I think that's a shrewd bit of business for Swindon, to be honest.
How difficult is it? Because what you don't want, of course, is to end up with a load of injuries from Saturday, because, as you said, it's their first game. You've got to be conscious, of course, strains, muscle problems, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how hot it will be, but I'm guessing it'll be quite warm. But what's the balance, would you say?
Yeah, the balance is you've got to be very careful and cautious, but you want to conduct yourself really well as well, because they're going to be a very good side, and your first game, people don't look at who you're playing, they just look at the result. A problem is that's the way football's gone. Like I said earlier in this conversation, I was absolutely flying at one football club, top of the National League South, and then we ended up getting 13 injuries. And you can't do anything about it. What you have to do is dig in, try and find a solution, and believe that you can get yourself out of that situation. So if we pick up one or two injuries at the weekend, as long as we can look after them players after, and we can bring in one or two to cover them, that's football. You never know what's going to happen in games.
I can tell you're really excited about this, aren't you? It's a new project for you. You want to get to grips with this.
Yeah, I'm a passionate manager. Everyone knows that. I love football. It's my life. Apart from my wife and my kids, it's my life. I play with passion. I manage with passion, and I believe that hard work gets you rewarded. Sometimes it might go against you, but yeah, I can't wait for this challenge. I knew what I was taking on when I came into this football club. I know it raised a few eyebrows. For me, it just wasn't about the level right now. I wanted to get myself back into football, enjoying it, with just the best facilities in non-league football. When people come and see it and they see what the chairman's done with the dome and everything, 90% of managers would have took that job, and there were some very high caliber of managers that went for the job as well. So I'm very lucky I got chose, but I'm going to give it my heart and soul, and I'll give my heart and soul when we're going through a bad run as well. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm talking to you and I'm desperate to get to training tomorrow night.
Well, we're going to let you go, and I don't know if you are going to relax for the rest of the evening, or you're just what are you going to do? Bet on the phone to get to agents? What's happening now?
We've been working on, we've got an in-house game tomorrow, so we've been working on set plays and everything tonight with the group. So, no, we've been doing some extra work. So, where I'm credit to the boys that they're prepared to do the extra work. So no, we're working for an in-house game tomorrow that we're just doing very privately, just to work on a bit of shape, set plays, to give ourselves a chance of being a little bit more organised so early on against a fantastic Swindon team coming to us. And hopefully, if anyone's listening to this, come down to the stadium, have a little look round, come and meet the players, meet the management team, especially if you haven't met us yet. Any young kids that want to come down and meet the players, it's an open changing room on the day for a couple of minutes from 1:15 to 1:45. We'd love them to come down and meet the players and staff and enjoy the football.
Fantastic. And that's a lovely part of non-league, isn't it? It's always welcoming. I mean, I know I go to a lot of non-league games, and you always feel that's proper football in a way, because, you know, everybody's there for the love of the game. That's basically what they're there for.
Yeah, these young kids come and watch, don't they? And they want to see their local clubs, or they want to support Swindon, but there's no harm in meeting them and making their day special as well. So I think that's important in non-league. I think it's all part of non-league football right now. So hopefully we might get a few more in the door after this chat. And I look forward to seeing some new faces at the football club this year.
Well, Bobby, we wish you all the very best. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I know we had a few technical problems, but we got there in the end, and that's the most important thing. So
we got there. So thank you so much to everyone, and thank you for yourself for allowing me to come on your brilliant show, and I look forward to seeing you in the season.
Absolutely. You go off and do whatever you have to do now, because you're a very busy chap. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Take care.
All the best.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bobby Wilkinson, the brand new manager of Swindon Supermarine. That first challenge is on Saturday, of course, Swindon Town at Webswood, 3:00 kickoff. And you can win tickets for that match. You can see the question below us. Which two clubs merged in 1992 to become Swindon Supermarine? Answers to admin@stfc-osc.com by midday tomorrow. And we'll be drawing them out and picking numbers by random number generator, Chris, and we got him in the end. So there we are. We got our man.
We got there in the end, didn't we? Bless. It's a bit of miscommunication, but we got there in the end. So it's lovely to speak to him. There's a lot of Swindon fans who go to Supermarine when Swindon are away. So I think it'd be lovely to forge a sort of relationship with them and have Bobby on sort of a couple of times a season just to see how they're getting on and things like that. So we'll have to have a chat with him. And do that. So
yeah, lovely to get that message from Cynthia as well, and glad you're listening in New England. Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
What a wonderful part of the world, and you know, all the best to your family, and it would be nice to get hold of them as well. So it'd be nice to actually have a chat with you at some point. Who knows? You never know.
I think this is the thing, isn't it? We've got so many fans that are international fans, and this is the ideal opportunity for them to sort of be involved, so they can come on have a chat. We've got Gus from America, so, and they can be a member of the supporters club, so as well. So,
brilliant.
All good.
Thanks, Chris, for maintaining your persistence, especially in this hot weather.
I tried to. Well, maybe this is the way to go. I'll just do it on my phone now instead of the laptop. Just one thing from me. Match day draw, you know, it's the only sort of funding it's any income we can get. So it enables us to do a lot of the things that we do. So we are now open to anybody who wants to do a match day draw annual subscription or season subscription. So it'll be £23 and you get entered into the draw with all the other tickets that are sold on the day. You can do it in multiples of 23. You have the chance to win a hospitality. We have 2 hospitality packages a season that you're in the draw for. And for this season, we have a new initiative, which is 4 times throughout the season, we will be doing subscription-only draws. So alongside our normal match day draw, so it's not instead of, it's alongside, it will only be for subscribers, and you can win £100. So 4 subscriber-only draws throughout the season. So that's another sort of incentive to join it, because, as I say, it's our only income, so it helps us to do things like sponsoring Supermarine on Saturday, our charity work and things like that. So, Yeah. Thank you, Lawrence. I will put the link below. I can't do it at the moment because I'm on here doing this bit, but I will do it. I will do it for next week. And we will also be sending out an email as well, Lawrence. So if you're on our email list, you can do that. So,
We're not ambidextrous, are we, at the minute?
No,
We
I'm just frightened if I press a button, I'm going to lose everything. So I'm not going anywhere. So brilliant. And the competition, so midday tomorrow, we will finish it, and I will number generate 3 winners, and you will be told by email if you have been a winner, and your names will be on the gate on Saturday.
Fabulous.
So we look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday. Sorry, Vic, you're not there.
Maybe negotiations might take place. You never know.
Oh, bless you. Okay, well, we thank Jeremy for coming on, and Bobby, eventually we managed to get him. Thank you, Vic, for holding it all.
Thank you. Hi, Rich. He says, can he get a T-shirt of the style? The answer is I don't know, but if you get in touch with the Prospect and offer some money, I'm sure they'll help you. But the whole point is that they raise money, £107,000 so far, which is fantastic.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So Vic and I will be back next week. We haven't confirmed anybody yet, or people haven't confirmed with us yet, but of course we will review the Supermarine game, so it'll be a chance to critique the new players and things and how they're shaping up. So
and look ahead to Melksham the following Saturday. You never know.
And then and if we can, we'll get the Melksham manager on to preview that one. So we will see. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for your patience, and have a good week. Stay sort of cool. It's another hot one tomorrow, isn't it? So stay safe, and we will see you soon. Okay, see you later.